In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this edit. So the first step for this is you want to find your clips. So the websites I recommend are animeclips.online/clips, and this is an archive of a bunch of clips pre-edited. So I'd recommend this website. And then some other places you can get clips are just from your average pirating website or YouTube. And you can do that by going to Cobalt.tools. Cobalt.tools is you paste a link and you get audio and video. It doesn't work for YouTube, so for YouTube you can use YouTube to MP4. I recommend this site right here because it does not give you viruses. The ads are very little, so I'd recommend it. You can also use it to get MP3s, so I'd recommend it. And if you want inspiration, you can go to TikTok, and you'll instantly just find out what you want to do. So my favorite place to go for inspiration is just to my reposts, because I repost a bunch of edits that I like and I enjoy the style of. So yeah. Okay, so now that you've gotten your clips, the original clip I used was from Angel Beats, the My Song episode, where this character, she finds out she really likes music and just basically like leans into that, and it looks full of colors and movement, and I just really liked it. And I really liked how it cut off at the end over here. So it goes like this, it gets brighter, and boom, and it cut off really good with the song, so that's why I chose this song right here. It's matched it. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go through each section. The first section I have is with these neon lights kind of thing I made. So the way I first started with it is I used a glow node and an edge detect node. It's pretty simple. I'm going to disable the edge detect so you saw what I saw while I was editing. So I went here, so first thing is it looks like this normally without edge detect. So I went to shiny regions. I wanted to find parts where the character was fully like in the thing. So glow alone's like this. So shiny regions, you see how it's at 337? Like this, it only goes for the eyes, eyebrows, and parts, the edges of like this part. So I wanted to go here, and I wanted to get the full character in this, like make it all glowy. So I went like this, and then what I did is I made it so it masks the light sources, and the spread is super low because usually it's like this, but I don't like how that looks. I wanted it to be contained inside of the character because throughout all of this, the black background just is like, so basically the character stands out through all of this with the back background and the very shiny character. So that's why I did it with the glow node like this, very low spread. And the gain gamma saturation, the gamma, I want it to be bright but not too bright. And I didn't want the colors to stand out that much, I just wanted it to be bright. So for this, I just kept it at whatever this is, 979. And opacity, I wanted the character to still be visible and like able to be told apart, so that's why I kept it like that. So now I'm going to show you the edge detect node. The edge detect node is where you can really change how this looks. So for this, I used the edge width pretty low because I didn't want it to be blurry, but I wanted it to not be like this. So I kept it here. I wanted the colors to still be visible. Brightness, I just kept it kind of normal. I didn't really want it to be too bright. Gamma, if it's too low it looks bad, but if it's too high, you just don't get the same color saturation. So I kept it at 1053. Blur, I didn't really see a need for a blur because, I don't see a need for it. Filters, advanced options, not much I did there with that. The difference between this and grayscale is not very much, so you could very well just change the colors like this, but I don't really want to do that. So that's why it looks like this throughout all this. And then for the text, I'm not too good at text, so I'm not going to go too in depth, but I just added a text in Softglow. Then for this part, I really liked how this part came out right here with this flashing different colors. So what I did here is I'm going to go into this section. It's a highlight node and a color corrector node. Let me go to the color corrector. So this is the character it looks like normally, and then if I turn off the highlight, I just really wanted to emphasize this like weird circly effect they had going on in the video. So that's why I did it with this. I wanted to highlight that and just get rid of the character and make it all glowy. So what I did is I did a low to high curve like this because I wanted to, like, how to explain this? I wanted half the character to be normal, half the character not to be. So that's why it looks like this. The curve I don't really care. I wanted it like this because, as I said, I wanted half the character to be glowing, half not. Length, well, same thing. I just wanted half the character to be glowing and half not. Number of points. The points, I have it set pretty high because I wanted it to be really glowy and one side to just be normal. Angle doesn't really matter, so I just did it. And merge over, I don't know, color, and okay, so for the color corrector node, I set it to keyframe, so if all these frames were not flashing, this is just a regular keyframe, it's like character. So for the color corrector here, I made it so every, I'd say, fourth of a frame it would go from white, blue, red, green, or something along those lines. That's why it looks like this. We got, I think I changed this part a little bit. No, I guess not. Let's see, I'd say, oh yeah, here's the text. Okay, this part's where it gets interesting. So this is a fusion composition along with an adjustment clip up above, so let me move this over. So for these particles I added everywhere. It's pretty simple. I added a P emitter and a P render node with a glow node. So the P emitter, I set it so the number started at 55 for the first frame because I wanted it to be very full for the first frame and then lower down each frame. So it goes from 55 to 26. So the first frame you get 55 nodes, I have a pretty long lifespan. And the next node it just goes back to 26.7 and just keeps going. So then what I did is I set the velocity. I wanted it to be super fast because here it looks like, so this is like the beat drop of the song almost. So let me bring this up. So yeah, that's why it's like bzzz. I wanted to be really just emphasize that kind of sound it had. So let me mute this. Here is the fusion composition. So here we go. I set the velocity pretty high, velocity variance, because I didn't want it to look super static. So I had everything going, had a pretty high variance, high velocity. I wanted it to look like she was like phasing through space and time and whatever. So that's why I did that. The angle variance, I kind of set it like at a weird, I set it at this really weird angle because I wanted it to look like she was floating through space. So she's like, all the little particles are going everywhere around her. And same thing with the angle Z variance because it looks closer and more 3D. We got the rotation. I didn't add any rotation or spin on it because I didn't really feel the need. And lifespan I kept default. Let's see, I set the style a little different, I think. So I keyframed the color a lot because I just wanted it to look like, as I said, she's going through space, having like a schizo like vision. I don't know. So then I went for the size controls. Size controls, I just wanted to look like little particles, but I didn't. So normally the particles are super small, so they look like this. But I wanted them to be able to be noticed, so I made them bigger. I made the variance and size and velocity pretty big too, so you can just kind of like, you can visualize like all the little like planets and stuff going around here. I imagine these are little planets and stuff. Settings, yeah, I think that's it for the emitter. The render, I added some, where is it? I hear so it's the scene and the pivot. So I changed these a little bit, I think. I made this 0.120, and then the, where is it? I think that's it for the emitter, actually. And the glow, kind of the same thing I usually do. I made a big glow size and a big glow. Oh, I forgot about this. So for some parts, I think I added a blur. So yeah, I added the blur here because I wanted it to, so normally they look super, like, the edges of the particles look super, like, rigid and not good looking. So I added this little blur on the sides along with the glow, so it glows as they're going along, which I thought looked really good. The glow is, this is what the glow node looks like. So then we got the adjustment clip. So this part, I wanted to change how the character looked from the outside. So remember these the effects on the adjustment clip also affect the fusion composition. That's why I have another glow node there, because I wanted it to affect some other parts. So glow node, just kind of the same as I showed earlier with the other part, but I changed the spreads to switch a bunch from the relative spreads for the colors, and gamma was way higher, gamma saturation, because as I said, I added that blur and it made it a bit more difficult to see the colors glowing, so that's why I made the gamma higher. Got shine threshold, I had to lower a bunch because it would actually hit the particles. Edge detect, so the edge width is very small. Let me see if I can find it. So when it's raised up, it looks super weird. So I just made it like this, and I added a bunch, I lowered the brightness, added gamma and blur, and I added the edge mask overlay. And yeah, I think that's right. So that's how I made this part right here. And then there was this part. So for this part, I added a vignette light rays and wavy node, which I thought looked really good in the end. So for the light rays, this is the other way I add glows. So I use a source region glows. So I put the light rays to come out from behind the character. See the light rays alone. If I get rid of the length and get rid of the soften, you can see they're actually just little like lines coming out of the character. I think you could probably tell a little bit easier, but yeah, this is what it actually looks like. Back. Okay, cool. So then once you see it, and the final image, it looks like this. It has this little, looks like she has an outline. It looks like the light rays are coming from behind the character more like than in front, like usually it looks like with glows, or the sides. Source threshold, same thing I did with other things. I just made it so the character was the main focus. And soften and length, so the length I made pretty long, so it looks like there's an outline, kind of like on the sides of the character. Soften makes this actually look like a glow, and not like little lines, so once you soften it, it looks way better. And brightness, you have to make it bright so you could actually see some of the colors, so that's why I did it like that. Also just keyframe the color all throughout. So the wavy node, I really liked the waviness here because it looked nice in my opinion, so let me go like this. Damn it, dude. You see? Okay. So here we have the wavy node, and the waviness doesn't do, I wanted it to look like, so you see how these little parts right here with the hands kind of come out, so I wanted to look like it's like defocusing, I guess. So I added these wavy nodes so it has some scale, strength, and phase. And the speed I made pretty normal, and I made it animate. So that's why it looks so, so to accompany this like kind of looking defocus look, I added this vignette node. So yeah, it's just so it's like the characters are really just the main focus again. Then we got this part. I think this is just normal from what I remember. Yeah, I just left these parts normal because I liked what the original looked like. This part, so for this part I added a glow, edge detect, vignette, and a color corrector. So let me move all those back. Okay, cool. So we got the glow node. I made the shine threshold like this, so you could just get, because basically what I had it set to is, how to explain this. So basically I have it set like this so the glow just only targets certain areas that I wanted it to. And the edge detect, I wanted the edges to be the really focus of this because I liked how it looked like this, and the edge detect, turn it off. So right here it looks really cool with these colors in the background of that actual original video, and I really liked how it looked, so I started using these edge detect nodes so it would get rid of the, see all these circles in the original file. I thought those looked really cool. I thought they would look pretty cool in this kind of form, so that's why I did it like this. The glow, added a glow, just add slight glow. Glow just makes everything pop and look better, in my opinion. The Vignette, it really helped a bunch, the Vignette, because it made it look like it's like a rave, a night rave, and I like that, how that sounded, so that's kind of why I did it like this. It looks cool. And the color corrector, I wanted to make it, as I said, look like a rave, so I made the colors just switch a bunch all throughout. As you can see on the right side, you see all the colors switching a bunch. And yeah, that's how I did this effect. And I made it pause. And then I made this mosaic effect. So this part was surprisingly weird to do, so I had to add a glow, edge detect, merge, mosaic, and a color corrector. Because there's probably an easier way to do this, but this is the way I did it. So I took what I did before, and I kind of just changed it up. So we have no more vignette, but we replaced it with a mosaic blur. So we have this. Let me turn off these two here. Color corrector off, mosaic blur off. So it's kind of the same thing as before with these weird edge detect and glow nodes. And we added a mosaic blur, and it goes like this. So now it's all blocky looking, which I liked how it looked with, especially with these effects over here at the end. Looks super cool. The color corrector, color corrected it so it looks a bit more unified, I'd say. So yeah, and then this part right here, just the original file. I think I added something. No, I didn't. But yeah, it just perfectly cuts off like this. So you can see how I added, so even though the character is visible before the hi-hat, she's actually has like a reaction once the hi-hat clicks and this frame switches, as you can see. So that's why the effect looks so much smoother, like this. This I just retimed because it felt kind of slow and just didn't really match the pace of the video I was going for. And same thing here, I think I retimed this. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. But yeah, that's how I did all of my video here. So if you have any questions, let me know, because I'll be happy to answer them, and I'll probably even make a personal video if you're in my Discord. So yeah, appreciate it. See ya.